Hello, Star Family. Thank you for joining for this live event. We are before the full moon and after the new moon, so we're going to have a live Q&A at this week, in which I don't have a specific topic. My filler topic for today will be the astral, other realms, and like how to navigate it, and like how does this whole thing affect us when you're like awakening, or just in general, because we're all multi-dimensional beings. And of course, while I'm addressing this issue, anyone is welcome to like add or subtract from it or just like ask questions regarding this or anything else. Also, if you're watching the replay, welcome. And if you have any questions or something that we could help you with or something that you're interested in, then please write it in the comment section. And if you're live right now, then you can write it into the chat box. I have also pin the comment so like everyone can see it, that yeah, like you can write your stuff into the chat box and I will do my best to answer it. I don't know everything, but I've experienced quite a bit in the past. I think like 11 or 12 years since I had my awakening in 2012, so I would like to share as much as possible also regarding the beginning phases of it, of like what can you go through, because like in our society in general, we just like grow up in the sense that we are taught to like ignore everything that is not touchable, seeable, or something that we are not able to like sense with our physical senses. Just as we have this dogmatic science perspective in our modern day culture that everything is material, and if you cannot measure something or put it in a petri dish or measure it, then it doesn't exist, basically. And many of us, especially if you're listening to this, you will know that there are a lot of things outside of the realm of the physical senses. So even science has managed to like validate that even with our eyes, we see just a very small spectrum of the visible light, basically. There's a lot more there that we're unable to see. And also this includes like other realms as well, because I bet you have seen like weird footage of, I don't know, like ghosts and weird stuff caught on security cameras. And basically in a sense that's like cameras are able to like perceive more of the visible light than our physical eyes are. So sometimes weird stuff can happen and some of it could be recorded. Now this doesn't mean that it's all of them are authentic. It's just something that can happen, basically. Some people like to experiment with it, but I don't like those creepy horror movie stuff. Like I've seen some weird horror movies with that, and I don't want to replicate those stuff at home. So welcome to everyone. I'm broadcasting and sending you much love from Transylvania. Welcome to the broadcast. You can write in where are you from. I see we have Donna with us. Hello, Donna. Also, Imagine One. Hello. And we also have Cool Deep. And yeah, like happy Valentine's Day. I think, yeah, it was yesterday. So we didn't have a Valentine's Day broadcast, but this is the best thing after that. And yeah, Cool Deep is from Canada. Hello. And also Timmy to you. Hey, you're also Hungarian. That's Timeo. Yeah. So you're from Spain. Hello. And let's see, we have Donna, and Imagine has been writing some stuff, and you're also from Canada. And Jacqueline, I'm not sure if I've written that correctly. You're from the UK. That's awesome. Kendra is from Florida. I hope you have better weather than we have right here right now. And Jenna is from Michigan. Lucy is from Canada as well. I guess you also are experiencing some wet weather around there. And Cookie Kutsuya, Latvia says hello from the UK. Okay, so you're from Latvia. And Nima, you're from Germany. Awesome. And I see that you also have a question, and I see that you're also a long-time member, since you have put a question mark before your question, which I really appreciate. Is that Zoltan, the last few days I've been having sudden pain in my crown chakra. Any ideas? I'm going to adjust my audio a bit. Okay, and also Jackie. Oh, hello, Jackie. Nice to see you. You're from Suck. Wow. Well, you're from Canada. I don't know how to read that. And also Farouz, you're from California. And Kendra is from Sunny with pollen. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the question. And I also see that Donna has put in a question, but we'll answer that too. So in general, to the crown chakra, I like in general of the pain, I guess like you are referring to pressure or something, like someone is like touching the top of your head or almost like fingers like going over it. I haven't really experienced like anything actually painful, to be honest, with those activations, but it can happen sometimes because like we're receiving quite a bit of energy from above. Like that's our basically how we function, that we like take in energy, it goes out, comes back again. We completing this type of toroid, I think it's called toroid field of energy constantly circulating. And it's also our main gateway through which we bring in higher or cosmic energies. So that can happen. And I guess it could be experienced a lot more during meditation, or in general, if just some type of activation is happening, then it's much more likely that you're going to experience that, because your body is like also physically letting you know that, hey, like something is happening right now. And maybe you should pay attention to it. It could be also a type of activation or invitation to the higher realms, saying that, hey, like you're now receiving some type of info, or just simply some type of plain old activation, basically. We're going through that a lot these days. I hope that helped. If not, then please elaborate more or share more regarding this sensation. Okay, let's track back to Donna. Donna is from San Luis Valley, Colorado. Yeah. Okay, Donna had a question. When can we meet in the astral for a party? I'm not sure. But I'm also experiencing some weird stuff with my microphone. Okay. I'm not sure, but I know that on certain levels from time to time, we do meet, and like I'm meaning that people who are like related on a soul level, or just simply we're like taking part in a similar task or mission, and we'll have something to do together. And for those occasions, we do meet in different places. And I think like many people have already talked about, or maybe probably many of you have heard about it, that many people are describing such events when they like meet on, I don't know, like spaceships or stuff like that, or like amphitheaters. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly, but basically like great big halls where like many people gather. Not everyone is necessarily human, but many people do gather, and yeah, like there's something that you learn together, or there is a type of presentation. I know it's not the best word for it, but basically all of us are learning something new about something that we should know at that time during our journey. And it's also, those things are like on a need to know basis. So we're like never holding any type of information that could be problematic or would interfere with what we're doing right now, basically. Because, yeah, like in military terms, we're on like hostile territory. And if you get compromised, then you can like leak valuable information. Or maybe in some cases, like it could make you a target or something. I don't know. But that's where amnesia and forgetting stuff comes in. Or just simply not knowing them consciously, or being able to retain that information at all comes in, basically. Sometimes it feels like a curse, because like all these amazing things happen and like we don't remember it consciously. I guess like many of you have already had those feelings that when you're in a dream or you're having some kind of vivid astral experience, it's like so real, and like you can touch it and feel it, and you can interact with stuff. And when you come back and you awaken, and all of a sudden you're like, I can barely remember anything. But while you were in it, it was like super clear and crisp. and you were like, okay, like I'm going to remember all of this because it's so clear now. But even though like you wake up and just have like I don't know, like retain just in general like what happened, but lost all the details sadly. But at this time, like this is how our bodies function. Sadly, we can't retain that much information. Okay, I've seen Jackie, and yeah, Timmy. Actually, Transylvanian. So happy to have found you. Yeah, okay, it's awesome to meet you as well. It is not, yeah, like it's very rare that I meet other Hungarian people. And also like people from Romania as well. That's pretty rare, or at least they don't really write in. Okay, so imagine one. I had a dream about being activated by an Arcturian. I'm wondering what the significance about it. Many things. Yeah, like I'm not sure like how many of you have. I think I'm going to like remove one of my ears. Okay, so how many of you have been already like tuning into the channeled messages that I was sharing in the past 3 years or so? Like I occasionally have written channeled messages and like read them basically, and that's how I share them. Usually I did it for every second week or so, and in like many cases my guides whom I've channeled in those messages, my Syrian guides, they're like many times they have mentioned that they are coming in to remind us of who we are and like why we are here. Like usually the beings or our guides like appear to us in our dreams during meditation or through some weird synchronicities. They usually come in to remind us of what we already agreed to. So before we came into this lifetime, we made many contracts and agreements, or however you want to call it, with different types of beings that they will help us in different phases of our evolution, or just at different points in our journey. Basically, if you have arrived at a specific point in your Earth journey and you need to do something, then at that point, a specific contract like comes online, and those beings who are there to assist you with that will come into your reality and will gently let you know that, hey, like we exist and this is real, and if you want to, we can help you with this, if you still want to do that, of course. Because I'm not sure like how many of you have experienced that, but like if you start to remember more and more like what you did in other lifetimes, then you like start to realize that, hey, like I've been doing the same stuff in other lifetimes too. I'm the same stuff that you're doing right now, just in a different format, basically, because it was a different age, or you were in a different geographical location, or you were in a different culture. But right now you're kind of implementing the same stuff that you were doing previously, but now you have to find a way to do it here. And also those guides come in to remind you that, hey, like you have already done that stuff. And like we're here to like activate your remembrance and also to assist you with certain stuff, basically. But it's like never, like it's never determined if you actually will do that or not. Like that's completely up to you. They're only there to remind you that this is something that you can do if you want to do it again, basically, or if you want to continue on this path. But you can always like shift the trajectory or alter the agreement or stuff like that. So it's not a locked in stuff, basically. The only thing that's kind of locked in is like maybe our family agreements, like if you were born into a specific lineage or you have a specific DNA, like you cannot change that during this lifetime. Like you have to be reborn to like alter that. So those types of things are like set in, but within that framework, like you can change other things. Like if you realize that, hey, like this is no longer working for me, or this is something that I no longer want to explore or do, and you can just simply change that, because this thing that we call free will, which is a very weird thing, but yeah, like many people say that there is no such thing, and other people say that it does exist, and it's like yes and no-ish because like there are certain things that are like determined and like are set, just as I said with the lineage, and also regarding the world that you are in, like you cannot change that. So I mean, we're here to change the world, so to speak, but you cannot alter it or change it in a direct way. Like you have to work on yourself and change yourself first so the world can reflect what is happening inside of you. But regarding like the determined stuff is that, for example, Earth is like a realm where we're going through a specific end of there's an end of a cycle, and like we're moving collectively to another phase of our evolution. And this is happening with humanity, with Mother Earth in general, like all living things that are in Mother Earth. Like everything is moving to the next level, basically. So this is set. Like you cannot do anything about that. This is happening, and it will happen. It will continue doing it. The only thing that you can like alter or do with it is like, what do you do with those circumstances? Like, what will you choose to do while you're there in that time frame, in this body, in this lifetime? Like, how are you going to use this time? Like, what are you going to do with your energy? Like, how do you want to experience this or express yourself during this time when Earth is changing? That's where free will comes in, basically. Okay, so let's see what else happened in the chat. Okay, wow, I completely lost the Arcturian in the chat. Okay. Yes, I found Imagine One. Okay, so Cooley, hi Jackie. Hello Jenny. Okay, happy Valentine's Day. Okay, last night I had such feelings of heaviness, and it felt like an attack, stomach pains and ear ringing. Okay, like this is an interesting one. Let me see. Yeah, like it was during the night. Yeah. Yep, like during the night we're a bit more exposed and also like more sensitive to things around us. And this is where, like, yeah, like we always talk about psychic protection and cleansing yourself, also cleansing your home and putting barriers around it so nothing nasty may come through. But also, like things, like we can still sense things. For example, if like someone near to us or someone with whom we are connected, or just simply like something is happening in the collective, like that will affect us as well. Like it may not be as drastic, but still we can feel it, and that can be as well. And let me see, stomach pain. Yeah, like the interesting stuff that you mentioned, that you also sensed a ringing in the ear, that usually means that something is shifting vibrationally around you. At least I also, when that happens, I can also feel like almost like the pressure in my head is like all of a sudden like shifting. It's almost very similar, but like when you're traveling and you're like changing altitude, because yeah, like that can affect you very deeply. Some people are more sensitive to it, others are not so much, but it's something similar to that. And it's like so strange that like physically, like nothing is changing around you. Like you're sitting in the same spot, I know, like in your chair, and all of a sudden you just feel that like some kind of wave is just like coming from somewhere and is like washing over you and like everything around you, and like you can feel it almost in your body as well. And then your ear starts to like ring or just have this strange tone in it, because like our ear are like the physical organ that is actually interpreting sound, so it is very sensitive to those stuff. And like when something and when it actually like manifests in a sense that your physical body is like reacting to it, and your physical hearing organ is like able to register that huge shift in vibration, then something big can really happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's something negative. It's just like a huge shift around you. And it could be that, hey, like someone is coming to let you know something. Maybe you're being visited by someone, or you're receiving like a download, or just like energies being projected towards you. I'm not sure if it happens if like some kind of earth shift is happening, or if like something like we're receiving like activations from the sun. I'm not sure if we can sense it in that way, but usually in my experiences, when someone is around you, or like someone is sending you some type of energy, like that's usually when I sense that. But yeah, like if, and also I remember like reading once that some people are experiencing experiencing it a very negative way, in a sense that they're like constantly going through those shifts, and their like body is constantly reacting to it, or that they're like always having this high pitched sound in their ears, or this low humming vibration, almost similar to like when you're underwater and you hear that like low vibrational stuff in your ears when you're underwater. And like for some people it can be very intense, but you can like in my experience, and I also heard it from other people, like it's a vibrational imbalance in your body if you're experiencing that for a prolonged period of time, and you can like balance it out, like ask your guides or do some kind of meditation to like balance out the flow of the of energy in your body, and like focus on like balancing out the two hemispheres also in your head, so in your brain. That really helps. In my case, I usually do like deep breaths or so, and I found that that helps me really well with it. I really like to do that, and it really like goes away in a few seconds, basically. Not sure if it's always good to do that, because maybe I'm just like, I just don't want to experience this thing right now, and I'm like pushing it away, and maybe sometimes something interesting is waiting for me in the other end, but I usually forget to go about it that way. But yeah, like sometimes it can also be an invitation that, hey, like someone is sending you a gift or an invitation to like follow up on. And if you choose to, you can answer it, or if you want to, like you can completely ignore it. So it's completely up to you what you want to do with it. Okay. So Timmy, to you. I often wake myself up to write things down. Yes, I've never managed to do that. So all my admiration and appreciation to you that you were able to do that. Like I am not in a state of mind that I will be able to write anything. I think I tried it like in 2013, that I did a quick audio recording, me recounting what I experienced, but I only did that once. I usually try to go back to sleep. Okay, and Kenny is from Oregon. Hello. And Luci Milena Van Lier, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. You're from Bulgaria. That's pretty close to me. Okay. So Donna, the blue avian light language is incredible. Question. Oh yeah, like if anyone is interested to check it out, this Sunday I uploaded a blue avian light language activation. And past Sunday. And this Sunday, I will be sharing an energy clearing and protection light language. I haven't posted it yet, but I will do it soon. Okay, so Donna had a question. Is there a message that they feel would be helpful in overcoming reoccurring non-helpful patterns? Okay. Let's take a sip of water for that. Okay. So in general, like the first thing that comes in mind is, I think we talked about this quite a bit, is like the mindfulness. Like it's something, I think it was introduced during the 50s or 60s in the Western culture. And it's basically trying to be as present as possible in each moment in your life, which also requires you to know yourself. Like we have that old saying that know thyself. And yeah, like but the most important thing is to like also while you're going about your day, doing the things that you do, whatever that may be, like just being home alone, doing the dishes, or just going to walk or to work or whatever you do during the day, but try to be as present as possible in that, and also to observe yourself, like how are you acting and reacting in certain situations, or in all situations. Basically that will be the most ideal, but I think that's kind of difficult to execute. But like whenever, like for example, if something challenging is happening or something that is upsetting to you, maybe you have an interaction with a person that you don't prefer to be around, and they say upsetting things or they trigger you. And the best way to like first like go about it is to like observe yourself, like how do you react and how you feel in those situations, like what comes up inside of you, and to like start to like recognize those patterns first when they like come up, and like what is triggering it, what is causing it. And when you're alone or you're doing your self work, or maybe you're working with a practitioner, maybe hypnotherapy or whatever type of practices you prefer for self-work, then always like bring those things up and like see like where do they come from, those disruptive patterns. And it's usually the best way to work with them is to like go to the root of the problem, like where is this coming from, like is this like this disruptive pattern is like coming from an experience that I had in my childhood, or maybe from a past relationship, or in some cases it can come from something much deeper as well, which like modern society or like the materialistic society has difficulty comprehending, because like we can inherit stuff as well, although this, as far as I've seen in the past decade, people are starting to like catch on to this idea that, hey, like we are not only determined by the things that we have experienced in our own lifetimes, like that was acceptable since, I don't know, like more than 100 years ago, but people are like starting to like realize that, hey, like we actually bring with us a lot of stuff. We can also inherit things from our ancestors as well, like especially things that were like not resolved or healed in the past, and like they're like you receive that when you're born into that specific lineage, and you have the opportunity to recognize that specific thing that is like passed on from generation to generation, and if you want to, you can work with it and heal that specific thing, so you don't give it forward to your children and to their children, basically. So you stop that disruptive pattern once and for all. And in general, like that's the main thing that many of us are doing in this lifetime. Like that's in general like why we came in, is to take on difficult and challenging situations and find a way to heal those specific things. Like that's our main objective in general in this lifetime. And also like find ways on how to live a more happy and fulfilled life. Yeah, like show a type of lead by example thingy, that to find basically a way to make your earthly life enjoyable, and also to assist them with others as well. So let's see. Jenny, I find it easier to hit record on my cell phone to relay my dreams and write it down later. I'm able to keep myself more in the dream state this way and inevitably get remember more. Yeah, like that's a great way of doing it. Yeah, because like waking up and like turning on the lights and actually writing something comprehensible can really wake you up. Okay, so Donna, or any other collective? Okay, so I guess I have to put that together with your previous question. Is there a message that, okay, so helpful in overcoming reoccurring non-helpful patterns, or any other collective? I don't really understand. Like, can you clarify, please, Donna? Okay, so G Campus. Hello, Star Family. Happy Valentine's Day. And blessings to all of you. And blessings to you as well. Mr. Zoltan, I have a few questions. Okay, that's awesome. I'm not sure, like, you're the only person that is, like, calling me Mr. Zoltan. It's very strange, but if you prefer it, I guess it's okay. Okay, so while you are writing the question or Donna is clarifying it, I'll have a sip of water. And I see nobody is writing anything. So since we're already talking about the dream time, we can go back to the whole topic of other realms and like how we experience those as well. Especially like when we wake up, we have our spiritual awakening, we shift energetically, and all of a sudden like an entire like new world opens up before us. And since we also shifted energetically, we also attract many new things that we didn't have in our lives. For example, I don't know, I don't really like the word spirits, but yeah, like all types of consciousnesses may come into reality to interact with you or to just simply see what you're about or who you are because your energy has suddenly shifted. And also, after you had your spiritual awakening, energetically, you're much more different than in general the masses are. Like you can imagine like billions of people are like vibrating, oh, I can't see my camera, vibrating on the same level. And like, yeah, like that's the best way to describe it. Like you can like see the masses like being on the same level everywhere. And all of a sudden there is someone that like, just, oh, I'm not seeing my reflection. All of a sudden you just come out of this flat line. All of a sudden you just jump out like a lighthouse or just a beam of light. Like wow, like what is that? Like all many beings will come there to check it out. Some of them are very conscious of it, why they are doing it, but also they can be like beings who are like maybe stuck in the astral or are not very conscious or aware of who they are or where they are, and all of a sudden they just see that light in that maybe in the darkness. That's the only thing that they see, and they will be attracted to that to see what it is. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like they are not, don't come in to hurt you or anything, but many weird disturbances can happen. Like I think many people talked about this. I also experienced it in the first few months that my cat was constantly seeing stuff in the house. Like, but they were like, my cat was always like watching the door for some reason. And even though I was like, I know that I was alone at home, and for some reason the cat was like always watching the door. And if any of you have cats, then you know that by their body language you can tell a lot about like what they're thinking or what they want to do. And I had many occasions when the cat was just like staring at the door, like looking at it, like exactly the same way when like maybe a stranger comes in or someone new enters the room. And the freakiest one was when in the middle, I think it was in an evening in the winter, I was alone at home, and it was another apartment basically, but you can like imagine that my room's door was open, just like maybe like this door was open, and that led to the hallway of our apartment basically, and nobody was home, and the cat was on a couch that was like facing the open door. And all of a sudden I can see the cat like standing up on the couch with his like back like bent this way, and like the hair and his tail like standing up, like whenever they like are ready for like a fight or like they see another cat, or they're just like simply scared of something much bigger, and they like puff themselves up to like seem more, I don't know, like intimidating or something. And I just went there and I see the cat, and I just like looked out to the empty dark hallway. I was like, okay, like I'm closing the door. Like I don't know what was there, but it was very freaky. And yeah, after that I really started to like look into like psychic protection and like how to clear your home. and basic energy maintenance, basically, because it's super important. Like, not just for people who are like energy sensitive, but especially for us, it is very important. But in general, like other people are experiencing the same thing, they're just simply not aware of it. So they're like exposed to the same types of energies, maybe even energy vampires or just things coming in and out of their home. They just simply, they are completely oblivious to this actually happening to them. And maybe they just don't realize like, hey, like, why am I always so agitated? Or why do I feel so drained in X, Y, and Z situations? Or whenever this happens or that happens. And they just simply don't really connect the dots or think in a specific way to realize that, hey, like maybe something weird is happening that that could be explained in a different way. And yeah, like when you wake up to this whole new reality, I don't know, like in some cases it can be scary, but like I think like 90% of the stuff like is not there to scare you. Like there can be some nasty energies too, but you can easily like I don't know, like banish them or like make them leave. Like you don't have to interact with them or just experience their energies, because you don't have to, even though like many of them, or in general like how our society is like structured, is like if something unpleasant is happening, or if you have like an unpleasant relationship with someone or something, then it's like we have this deterministic viewpoint about stuff, that this is how the world is and you can't do anything about it. Like life sucks and you have no choice, and this is life. And no, like you have a choice about it, and like you can choose the experiences that you can have, and especially like you can choose like how do you go about specific experiences and energies in your life. And if you have those unpleasant energies in your life, then simply you can remove them. Like they cannot be there if you do not accept them. But in general, like how they come in and work is that all things work on the level of you have to consent to have that relationship with a specific being or energy, or to you have to consent to like experience something with that may be draining or scary, but you can say no. Like you can remove yourself from it or make that thing leave, because you don't have to experience that if you don't want to. But the unpleasant stuff about it, or the way like as we were like brought up, is to like if something bad is happening, just like ignore it or like pretend that it's not happening, and it will just go away. And it doesn't really work like that. And from like from their point of view, from those beings' point of view, like if you're not saying no, then you're consenting to the whole experience with them, basically. Like if you choose to like turn your back and like ignore it, like they will not leave, because like you're not saying no, and this is like a freebie for them or something like that. And they will just stick around as long as you realize, to the point as when you realize that, hey, like this is happening and I should do something about this because this is not okay. And that's when they have to leave, and they won't come back afterwards. So take control of your energy and take control of your home's energy, so you can have a more fulfilling life, basically. Okay, I see nobody has clarified any of the questions below. Okay. And G Campus, you said that you have many questions? No, just a few questions for me. Okay. But if nobody's writing anything, then I will just continue to brag about weird astral stuff, because I love those things. So, okay, so we're talking about keeping the energetic hygiene in your home and also inside of you as well. And the main thing that I liked everyone to like take home is like you can always choose like what you want to experience. And I think like that's also what we did in the last meditation for the new moon, that you have the power to choose like what you experience and how you experience things. Like circumstances like can be set, like just as like what type of family you were born in, like you're a man or a woman, or maybe you live, I know, like I live in Romania, maybe you live in California, or yeah, like we live in 2024, like you can't change those stuff. Like we're also in the middle of a grand shift. You can't change that either. So those things are set, the circumstances are set, but you have the power to choose to like, okay, like what will I do with the opportunities that I have right now? Like, do I want to continue as I am right now, or do I want to maybe change stuff? And like, since I think the main theme in the past few years has been change, like on 111, it was all about change, and it is continuing to be about change, and I think it's going to be for quite some time. But I feel like on certain levels, it's like slowing down, but also in a very, I would say like it's slowing down like on the more apparent and like on the, I want to say like in the past few years, I know like everyone experienced the unpleasant stories and circumstances that we've experienced due to certain things that I won't talk about because I like to keep my channel. But basically, some very apparent power shifts have been happening in the world, and which affected people very deeply on a day-to-day level. It is still going on, although not at the same level. And you can like take it that the bigger shifts, the more drastic and more apparent ones happened, but and that phase is kind of like slowing down, and we're like going into much more like micro and nuanced shift state, basically, because we still have a lot of work to do. Like we have a lot of stuff to heal and clear out, and we're in the middle of it. And I also think like in the coming years, the main theme will be like information events and like people coming forward that will like challenge more and more like how things work in the world, like what we believe to be real and unreal, and just basically like show to people that, hey, like you were not living in the world that you thought you were, or like the world is not how you were taught in school, and people have a choice to do something with it. Like okay, like I recognize that there are certain parts in my life, like how I participated in all these things, like what belief systems did I have, and I like recognize now that, hey, like that might not have all been true or beneficial to me or to anyone, and like people have the opportunity to change that. Like, okay, like this didn't work so far, but what are we going to do now? And I think like many people are not really enjoying it because taking responsibility for who you are and your actions is like really coming in hard. Like the whole spiritual awakening is all about like taking responsibility for who you are and what you create and what impact you have on the world, basically. Not just on your surroundings, but in general, like your state of being, how you act, how you feel, like reverberates throughout the cosmos, basically. It affects everything. So there's quite a bit of responsibility in that too. And I see that the chat has updated. I'm not sure if everyone was silent so far, but I think that the chat was not updating. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through all this stuff. Okay, so G Campus, I see you have a few questions. Awesome. So the first one, you already went to the astral realm. How can we do it? Yeah, like I think we do it all the time. And in a sense, like we're in it to a certain extent, like it is overlapping with our physical reality. And when weird stuff happen or like you feel or sense stuff, it usually comes from something from the astral. And in those cases, it's basically like something vibrationally coming close to us, to the physical realm. And that's when you can sense something, in some cases even see it, or maybe it can be recorded, or it leaves some kind of impact on the physical reality. Like that's very rare, but that can happen too. And that means that like something that is like vibrationally higher or not as dense as we are in the physical has come like closer to our vibration in the physical plane. But in general, like if you consciously want to travel in it, I think like when we dream, like we're on the astral anyways, like a certain part of it. And but you can do it consciously as well. Like you can do it during your meditations, or do maybe a hypnotic regression, or some people are into like astral traveling. I think it's called the Monroe Institute, that was like researching, I think they still are, like researching astral travel, and they were like doing a lot of like scientific research on this whole topic, like how it works, like how can you get into that state. And I think they also have like meditations online, and like certain vibrations that like you can listen to, that will like easily put you into the state where you can just simply travel much more easily without your body, basically. I've never tried it. I know some people who have and enjoyed it, but I prefer like projecting a part of my consciousness rather than like leaving my body. I feel a bit more safe because like I feel like I can always like easily like just come back. If like you're out of body, you can like still come back, but I feel like it's like more of you is like out there rather than when you're just like simply projecting a part of your consciousness. But the downside of it is that just simply projecting a part of your consciousness can be a bit more superficial experience. But if you're like traveling without your body, like a full out of body experience, like that is a far more immersive experience. And if you prefer to do that, then have fun experimenting. But in general, like that's something that happens anyways. I think like all of us, like each human being had, maybe if you're a psychopath, maybe you haven't, but had a out of body experience throughout your life, or maybe even multiple ones. And you just simply thought that, hey, like I had a weird dream that felt very real. And if your dreams feel very real, then it probably means that you're having some kind of astral experience. Okay, and follow up, I dreamed that I was an angel flying a couple of days ago. Is it just symbolism or has deeper meaning? Okay, I'm not sure, but I'm not a dream interpreter. But I also had in the beginning some flying dreams, which are very interesting. And I heard from certain sources that if you're like flying over places that you know or maybe are from, then it usually means that you're like evolving beyond that place or something similar. I'm not sure. Okay. And the third one, how can we collectively manifest? Yeah, like also my guides are like always saying that we are already doing that, so that's how we got here. And we are also constantly manifesting in our own lives as well. So there's nothing crazy or new about it. I know like there are like many videos, and also there's I'm not sure, it's just a video or a movie, The Secret, on like the secret on how to manifest. And the point is that we already are constantly manifesting, and that's how we're here. And like the point is that we have to learn to manifest consciously. And all the things that we talked about previously kind of tie into it. Also the point of mindfulness, of like being aware of all your shortcomings, like where do you need to improve yourself, of course. Because if all these like negative belief systems are like circulating in our subconscious, then, and if you're not manifesting in a conscious way, then basically you will manifest all your subconscious negative belief systems. Like you will bring them to life, so to reinforce them even more. This is why it's so crucial to work with them as much as possible, so you don't have those detrimental and limiting factors inside of you. And when you have dealt with them, then things will flow much more smoothly in life. Okay, so Leona K, blessings to Zoltan and all on the chat. Awesome, much love to you as well. Okay, so let's see, a better word and to help other people. Thank you, yes. Okay, so I guess that came in with how to manifest collectively. Okay, so in general, like, yeah, we talked about the negative aspects of it, like how to clear that out. But in general, I think, like, I know it's very cliched, but it's like super true. Like, always act and like try to be the person that you want to be. I mean, like, visualize and feel and like clarify to yourself, like, what would be the ideal you be like, and like try to act and function from that perspective as much as possible. Because like if you function from that perspective, then also your surroundings will have to reflect that reality back to you as well. And that's in general like how we shift stuff around us. And I think I'm having some issues with the chat. Okay. I'm jumping around quite a bit. Okay. I missed out quite a bit. Okay, so Kendra. It felt dark, so I began focusing on heaven on earth because nature and love, and it eased off. Yeah, like stuff can be really overwhelming from time to time when we're like faced from time to time, like what are other people experiencing, or what like what are still the things that we also need to work on, and they just like come back again into our face and remind us of all the work that we have to do. And yeah, like when it starts to become overwhelming, or in general, it's like super advised to like tune into your heart center and like center yourself on a day-to-day basis. Again, like this is energy maintenance, to make sure that you like don't fall into a deep hole of depression or just being at low energy. It's always important to like keep that connection alive inside of you to your highest self, to your heart center, and to the higher realms basically, or to heaven on earth, however you want to call it. And like keep that in focus as much as possible so you don't lose sight of what we came here to do. Okay, so G Campus, I have good news. Listening to light language activations and subliminals had helped me to feel less uneasy in the crown and around people staring at me. Oh, okay. I noticed because yesterday I was at church and was just cool. Okay. Yeah, like light language activations are awesome. I'm happy you're enjoying it. Okay. So love to love. Let's see. I feel this life I'm here to transmute, transform, renew this body, this human instrument, yes, without dying. We can transform in real time now. What would the blue avians or your guides say about these thoughts? I'm not sure about the blue avians, but let's see the guides. But yeah, like regarding the transmutation of the body, I think it's also like depending on like for how long have you been alive in this incarnation. But in general, like the whole thing of that we talked about is that we are born into specific situations, specific timelines, basically, and also family lineages, and we inherit a lot of stuff, and we also came in not just to like transmute those patterns like energetically, but also on a deeper level as well, so we don't give it forward to the future generations. Okay, so let's see what else is out there. Okay. Timmy to you. Should we protect ourselves from those? If so, I can just kind of visualize pushing my light out. I feel like that helps, so only high vibrational beings stick around. Yes. Yeah, like I think we talk about this on every event, but it's super important. If you like want to like check out the last meditation that we did, we do it usually in each of them to do a basic clearing on our bodies, fields, and also in our surroundings. And afterwards, like ask for the assistance of Mother Earth, Heavenly Father, or the Central Sun, however you want to call it, or Higher Self, and for the assistance of the archangels to clear our field, clear our home, clear everything around us, like remove all interference and intruders, all stuck energies, and just simply create a field around us, around our room where we sleep, around our home, around the land, and just like layers upon layers, if you want to do that, of protection. So nothing that is not in alignment with your path can come in, basically. Like this way you can filter the energies that you experience. Otherwise, if you're like not putting out boundaries, and like this is also applicable to human interactions as well, if you don't put out boundaries with your relationships to other people and also energetically, then stuff will just come into a field. People will just come into your life and like do whatever because you don't have boundaries on what you want to experience. And sometimes this may not even be clear to the individual of like what you want to experience and what you don't want to experience. And like doing these energetic protections, you're clearly stating to the universe that, okay, like this is what I want to experience, and I'm removing all this stuff that I don't want to have in my life, and I don't want to experience that anymore. But it is also advised to do it on a day-to-day basis, to renew this agreement, and also to like renew the shielding, or however you want to call it, and do it especially before you go to bed. It's super helpful. Okay, we are going to wrap up shortly. Let me see if there are any more questions. Oh yeah, like, do you have any suggestions on how to protect oneself from feeling bad, in quotation marks, by solar flares? Yeah, like in Earth shifts and what we're experiencing right now, and like how to ease very physical ascension symptoms. Yeah, like the info that we're always receiving is that many of these shifts that are occurring are like transmitted by our sun. Like just as you said, the sun is bombarding us with energies. We have solar flares, solar storms, and that is like washing over the world and also our bodies and fields. And this is mainly a masculine energy. So it was advised to like interact as much as possible with Mother Earth, to interact with the divine feminine energies, to like even out and balance out the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within. Like it will not completely stop. Like it will not be like a sure ticket out, but you can like ease the effects of it. You can like still maybe feel that, okay, like this is happening, I can observe it, I feel it, but it's not something that is distracting. It's just something that I can experience right now. Okay, let's see what else. So let's see, love to love. I have in my mind that there isn't anything negative, nothing to protect self from. If we know only good things exist, loving beings, that's what will be. Like thoughts have power, heart. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how to address that properly. But yeah, like focusing on like high vibes is really good. Yeah. And like also it in a sense is like putting out the intention of like what you want to experience. But for example, like in the case if something maybe, I don't know, like maybe a energetic parasite or something is already there or you're experiencing that, like in a sense, just trying to not focus on it will not make it go away. As I addressed previously, it's like in a sense consenting to that experience because you're like not saying no to it. So recognizing if something negative is happening is like the first step towards empowerment and like resolving that situation, to like realize that, hey, like maybe something's not right, or there can be something that is like disruptive, and like recognize it and just simply make it leave or ask it to leave, and like say like, hey, like I do not consent to this experience and get out of here. And then yeah, like call in your light forces, your light team, your angelic protection to like also remove any remnants of it or that specific thing entirely, and to like fill you up with light, to heal you, to assist you, and to like clear out any remnants of I know, like unpleasant energies, and to protect your home and also your field. So Jackie, love listening to all the astral stuff. Yeah, that's where the weird stuff happens. Okay, I had a question up above. Thank you. Okay. I think we also have something else. So despre. Oh, let's see. I'm not sure how to read it. Despre magi și alte ballerii. I'm not sure what it exactly means, or I think it's in Romanian. Can you tune into the Arcturian energies? I think I had a few experiences with them, but it's not something that I in general experience. I know I have like one Arcturian light language that I did like 4 years ago, if anyone wants to check it out. But in general, like they're not a group that I'm consciously interacting with. And yeah, like the same person, I feel called to ask about this. Thank you for all the live sessions, of course. And let's see, Jacqueline. I now use my clearing meditation before bed, and it's changed my sleep at least. Yeah, like you don't bring stuff, unpleasant stuff with you. Like throughout our day, like we accumulate a lot of energies, like especially if you like interact with a lot of people or like go to places, like some of that energy can get stuck in our fields. Or maybe you're sleeping in a not in a very good environment, maybe that has a lot of karma or stuck energy there. And just like clearing everything that is unnecessary out is like super helpful. And at least you're like making yourself that much lighter when you go into the sleep state. Okay, and the same person, I'm not sure how to read your name, question. I awoke one night and found I could not breathe there. There was something over my mouth, 3 men in my room in white robes and mash across my heart. I feel they were operating on me. What was this? Oh, that's not much information about it. Not sure. Like probably like you were receiving some kind of visitation or reminder of something that maybe have already happened. But yeah, like if you want to like go deeper into it, like you can go to a hypnotic regression. I always recommend QHHT practitioners. Like I also learned that craft 7 years ago, I think. It's a great way like going back to different spots and times in your life and also other lifetimes to like explore certain things. Okay, so let's see what else is in the chat box before we close the session. Okay, Kuldeep. Okay. Yes, and despre magi și alte ballerii. Yes, you pronounced it well. Thank you. I'm not sure what Baleri means, but I will have to look it up. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us for this live event. Look forward to this weekend's light language transmission. It is all about clearing energies and setting up protection, basically. And afterwards, I will be sharing some serious Syrian light language energies next week. Okay, so thank you for joining, and I hope I will see all of you and even more on next week's full moon meditation. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy post-Valentine's Day.